This is Tibet. Let's start from the beginning. In 2019, I went to the state of Sichuan in the city of Chengdu for a last-minute project. I took a bus in the direction of the Tibetan autonomous region for 15 hours, and it was a very interesting ride because sometimes we reach around like 4,000 to 5,000 meters in terms of elevation. And in the bus, I was the only foreigner, so all the eyes was looking at me. And during one of our stops, a young lady approached me and she was asking me what I was doing in this area. And I did tell her I was a photographer and I was here to take pictures of the local and the Tibetan culture. So I stayed with the family for around like 10 days, and every day we did something different. Sometimes we went to the mountain, so what they were doing is like taking the poop of the yak. They use this for cooking, also to warm up the house. This experience was quite interesting because for me, it was quite hard for me, for example, to run around, walk, because it was very high. But for the kids, they can run around, play, and for them it was like nothing because they are adapt to the situation. I experienced a very special time because sometimes we do like kind of a picnic or tea in the middle of the nature, and it was just unexpected and beautiful. The monk also brought me to different village, different temple, and I have to say it was quite a privilege because he opens a lot of doors. I was welcome in a very special way. I think also because I was a foreigner, but also because I was with the monk. We also went to visit his parents. The parents live in the mountain with a very tiny house where, for example, the floor is like just a soil. The walls are made with yak poops. They eat like a very traditional way. For example, most of the meat are outside in the frozen condition. The house was a traditional Tibetan house, but you don't have like water. So that means, for example, there is no shower, no toilet. So you have just like you heat up the water on the fireplace with frozen ice. And when the water is warm enough, you can use it to wash your face, your hands. And it was quite something too, because after a few days, for example, sometimes I have very bad reception on my phone, so it was difficult to communicate with the family. And one of the days, they asked me why I'm not linked or using the Wi-Fi of the house. And for me, it's something like I never thought about it because, for example, for me, if I have a house, maybe the first things I will have is like the water. And maybe later on, I will maybe install the Wi-Fi. But for them, it's like different maybe necessity or way of living. My initial plan was to stay a few days in Yarshungar. But after my second day there, I took a last-minute decision. I decided to leave the place. One of the reasons, it was just too cold for me. Not especially during the daytime, but at nighttime, I think I didn't have enough equipment to sleep in like cold condition, and the place was just too cold. Like in my room, it was -12 during the night, so it was impossible for me to sleep, like even with my clothing and my shoes on. So I walk on the street with my backpack, and I try to stop some cars. And I was lucky enough to find two monks. They drove me to the next city. The drive was not easy because it was snowing a lot, so we have to stop a few times. And I took my first shower after maybe like 10 days or 12 days. And I think it was the first time of my life I didn't shower for so many days. Yeah. It was my first time using a digital medium format camera, and it had a huge impact of the quality of my image. Each image are very storytelling with a unique scenery, and I still dream to do a photography exhibition. It was my first time going to China. I had no expectation. I really have no idea what I was doing. Nothing was planned, and also I didn't know if I could take pictures of people, experience the Tibetan culture. And I have to say I was very lucky because every single day I see new things. I enjoyed every minute of my trip. I was so lucky to meet such a family who make me feel like part of them every single day. I experienced Tibetan culture, Tibetan food, experienced the religion, meet incredible people. It was the best travel of my life, and I will definitely go back to Tibet.